fatal heart impacts, past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful bars and pass. I back up my actions, fact don't ask, grab reactions, jacked attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose, pick a new silver excuse. I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember, you're discreet out. Get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kiru's show here, and now, before I do begin, I do want to bring up a few things. I've gone back through and watched each part to this series, and I did want to make a few little changes. Now, I never officially stated this at any point in the series, but in this world, UA will be a college. And I did at least want to bring that up, along with the fact that after looking into it a bit more and thinking about it while I was watching the series, it does appear that humans in MHA are a lot more durable than in real life. Even people who they don't have, hardening quirks or physical resistance quirks. Now, I am bringing that up because I've seen a few things in the anime, and even with Stain's speed, him just training for a few years intensely like that, it should not make him faster than Ida, who has actual engines in his legs. Now, I know that that is a show, and, fiction, I'm aware. But I did want to bring that up, because if I do something in this series later on, and people start talking about how that may not make sense for the character since he's not that strong or that fast, I want to say you could best attribute it to training. Now, I'm just clearing that up before it does pop up. Anyway, guys, now, whenever we last left off with this series, we had Deku. And, quite a bit of things have happened. Now, Deku, he met Momo after she was kidnapped and basically taken. The car she was in smashed into Deku, throwing him off of a bridge. He saved her life. This being where Momo, she did then want to hire Deku as a bodyguard. And Deku, after being flung through a window while trying to spar with Kendo at his father's dojo, he eventually got hired. Now, Mr. Kure is well aware of Mr. Yaoyorozu is well aware of the Kure clan's reputation. These are very, very dangerous people. Their family name has been around for the last 200 years. And even then, the business he does work in, he knows about them, since he is a CEO of a major company after all. Now, we actually do have Deku. Let's just say about a week later now. Deku, he's transferred into Momo's classroom. And you actually have where people, they do see him. And the usual thing does go on. People see him, they think he has a quirk because of his eyes. He explains that he's quirkless. And people, they do want to start messing with him. He seems to try and be confident. He has too much bravado. And it does annoy them. And Deku does quickly start to put people in their place. Now, a lot of things would happen today. As you do have where Deku, after a girl in his class did try to mess with him, Deku didn't have that, as he did just basically smash her desk and make her cry. The teacher tried to get Deku in trouble, but he was able to defend himself, talking about how this girl, she did this to him. Let's just say she tried to set Deku's sleeve on fire as a joke, or at least ignite it a little bit. Now, the teacher would have been surprised by that, and wouldn't really have blamed Deku. However, everyone's more surprised by the immense strength he did show off. And there is later at lunch, where Deku, he was sitting with Momo, and talking with her. As you do actually have where somebody did come to approach and try to talk to Deku. Deku turning his head and seeing Todoroki. Who are you? My name is Todoroki. I saw your quirk in class. It's very nice to meet you. Okay, listen, dude. I don't want anything to do with you. Are you strong? Hmm? Am I strong? Well, I would like to say so. I do possess a quirk. Deku actually going to turn back before hearing that word. Him spinning back around and going to stand up. As just grab Todoroki's hand and just say, "Hi." Hmm? What did that do? You have a quirk, and you're a male. Correct. Yes, that's what I said. Fascinating. That's very interesting. So, Todoroki, right? You're Endeavor's kid. Hmm? Yes, I am. And your quirk? I can create ice out of my left side. That's it? Well, there is also my other side. I can produce fire, but okay. After school, fight me. Hmm? Why? Now, you do actually have Momo, who does go to bring her hand up. Ixuku, that's not really Deku turning his head, telling Momo that he hasn't fought anybody very strong since the girl last week. And he's going to leave her alone to get stronger. Hmm? Alright, but this is school. You really shouldn't be fighting here. Hmm? I don't care. No. Deku just turned back to Todoroki, saying that is he okay to fight? Hmm? I would rather not. So, why'd you introduce yourself to me then? Todoroki watching Deku's blood somewhat start to boil, as he has asked Deku about his quirk. Hmm? Quirk? No, 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 no. I'm quirkless. Now, if you're not gonna fight me or spar with me, then fuck off. Deku going to turn back around and sit down, as everyone did just watch Deku say that to Todoroki. Now, Todoroki does just stand there, trying to think about why this guy was so rude. And he does just try to continue to talk to Deku. I was hoping to spar with you and learn some more. Hmm? You don't want to fight me, but you want to train. That is indeed correct. My father has informed me about the Kure clan before. And to avoid you. Has he now? Yes, in my own father's words, the Kure clan are, how would you put it? Too crazy for his own taste. Now, Deku just turned around to look at Todoroki. Hmm? So you were almost one of my cousins. Cousins? Yes, part of my extended family. There's thousands of Cures out there. Today. Anyways. Now, I can train with you, but you'll have to fight me after school. That's my condition. Um, I don't exactly understand why. Because it's fun. Now, are you gonna fight me or not? No. Todoroki, he doesn't really know what to say, as he does talk about how he will think about this offer. Now, Deku, he does actually ask Momo when he does turn back around if there's any more guys at the school with quirks. Hmm? Oh, um, hmm, I just bit my tongue. I'm not exactly too sure. I think this is only one other guy. Uh, okay, and where is he at? I want to meet him. Does he have a powerful quirk? Is it strong? Can he fight? Hmm? Uh, I don't know. Why are you so keen to fight people? Because it's fun. Along with that, it's in a curious nature to fight. Every Curie wishes of one simple dream. It's easy. It's simple. It's, well, all we have. Hmm? Why? Because we're born and bred from warriors, so the only other way for a Curie to die is in battle. Now, Momoshi's hearing Deku. This seriously can't be true. This guy's insane, right? He's got to be crazy. She just hired this guy as a bodyguard because, well, he can protect her. This has to be some sort of well, persona he's putting on. From the way he's acting and from the way he is, right? Then again, he got thrown through a car. And well, from what she doesn't understand from what she's seen, he fought a girl with a giant arm or giant hands quirk and won. If that's really true, then how much of their bloodline is battle-hardened warriors? Now, you do actually have where Momoshi is going to ask Deku this question, to which Deku he does turn to her and just say all of them. Now, it was quite interesting for her to hear that. And we actually do then have where Deku, he does ask around a bit from students exactly if there's another guy at the school with a quirk. And yeah, he does get his answer. Apparently it's a rumor, but it hasn't been confirmed. And Deku, he was annoyed whenever, after some time he did, discover that that rumor was fake. Now, with that being said, we actually do cut to after school, where Deku, he was waiting on Todoroki to give him an answer. However, the guy, he did just leave for the day. Now, as that's actually happening, we do actually have back with Deku, where he's going to walk away, or at least go to stand up to walk home, telling Momo that he does have to leave now. Now then, Momo, she would have been very surprised, asking Deku if he would rather not have a ride. No, I'll probably stop by a few places and check to see if there's anyone strong that I can fight. Why though? 'Cause I want to. Now, Deku, he does go to stand up and leave. As you actually have where he does walk up to the gate and then go to turn his head. As Mo does watch it, he does just stand there frozen. Now, Mo does actually stand up to go to walk that way. As she does walk up to Deku and see that when she does turn her head, that there is a girl with long black hair, at least probably about 10 feet away. And it's quite surprising. Now, Momo, she just wonder, that girl, who is she? Along with that, there is the fact that she does have ears, or well, cat ears. Now, Momo, she does turn to Deku, going to ask him if he does know who that is, as she does actually watch that there is a smile on his face. Now, Momo, she's quite alarmed by that. Izuku? Who is that? Oh, that's someone I've expected to see for a long time. Now, Deku just dropped his backpack, as Momo should just think that this is, well, a friend of Deku's, or possibly even, well, his girlfriend. Now, it's quite surprising when Momo does watch these two start to walk towards one another, before the girl just take off in a sprint right towards Deku, and Deku does start to sprint directly towards her, as she does watch these two get into a bit of a fight. The girl does directly go to punch right at Deku's face, and Deku does go to sock her right in the gut. Watching as both of these two, they suddenly have an immense feeling of bloodlust or killing intent seep off of them. Now, you know actually where Deku, he does activate his removal, and he does go at 100%. And there is whenever this girl, she does actually turn on her own removal, and it's quite surprising. Now, Momo watches Deku does actually go to grab his cousin whenever she's actually going to throw out a fist. Deku grabbing right into her arm as he's going to swing her body directly over his own, smashing her right into the ground as she actually is going to bring up one of her legs and going to try and kick at Deku. The moment she does, she actually does take her tail and wrap it around Deku's arm, before swinging her own body upwards and directly going to try and get Deku into a headlock, as that did alarm her. Now, she does watch that these two, they do fight, and they even do start smashing into the walls of, well, the school. Before eventually it ends with Deku being able to get out of the headlock and reversing on his cousin. Now, as Deku is trying to choke out his cousin, you actually have not only Enko, but Ryan, who they do both at least make their presence known to Deku and his cousin. Now, You do actually have Momo who does get to watch this. As Deku, whenever he does see his uncle, he does get to stand up and directly walk towards the man. The man going to bring up his hand and go to actually high five Deku, telling him that he's gotten a lot bigger since the last time he saw him. Thanks, Ryan. So, question. Are we gonna fight? Of course. What else will we be here for? I don't know, it's just been so boring without Mom here. Besides, no one's been able to match up. The cures, they're gonna be remembered here. I bet. Now, I'm curious to see what you can do. The Kangen Annihilation matches are coming up pretty soon. Really? Will I be able to participate? There's no junior division, bud. Maybe when you're older. Besides, we all know I'm the one who participates. Maybe. But maybe someone just hasn't beaten you yet. You really think you can take me on? I do. Why? Are you scared? You little shit. Now, Moto's watch these two talk. They're casually shouting death threats at one another. And they're laughing about it. This does not seem like a normal family. Now, you do actually have Orion. He does actually look his head up to see the girl who is standing about, let's just say, 15 feet away. As Deku does turn to talk about how that's, well, Momo Yaoyorozu. Yaoyorozu? Oh, I know that name. You do? Her father's company's in the Kangen Annihilation matches. And this year things are supposed to get interesting. Are they? Yup. I hear that they're supposed to be losing money this year. I'm not exactly too sure what that means. It means that I'm not working for their corporation. So they're bound to lose. Now, Deku, he does hear that. As you actually have where Deku and his family, they do go to leave. And Momo, she's, well, left stunned. Okay, clearly something's going on there. So, let's see. She just have to complete her homework for the hero program, and then maybe she'll at least start getting somewhere with that. She does have at least 4 more years to try for UA. Now, we do actually have back over with Deku and his family, where Deku, he's getting pumped up and riled up. That quick little spar with his cousin Saki, it was at least enough to get his blood pumping. However, now that he knows that Yuya and his mother, along with even his uncle, are here, things are going to get a lot more heated up. Now, we do actually have Deku and Ryan, who they do both face off against one another. And Ryan, he's starting to talk shit and go Deku on. Now, Deku, he is just thinking, as he's just wondering about a few things. Now, Deku, he's always seen his father practice growing up. He doesn't exactly know the Nico style, but he does understand some techniques that he's seen his father train other students in. Now, he's just wondering if he should try mimicking those techniques or actually use kure moves. Ryan doesn't use kure moves, but he does know them. And the only way he'd ever use them is if he got serious. So, he's wondering, should he go into this with the Nico style that he does somewhat understand, or with the kure style? Now, Deku, yeah, he does just rush towards Ryan, activating his removal as he just quickly blitz the man. Now, you don't actually have Orion, he does get to activate his own removal, as he is going to throw down his hand and directly catch Deku's as he did smash right into his uncle's knuckles, or into his uncle's palm, before Deku did go to actually bring up his right hand and go to actually try and go for an uppercut. Ryan dodging that as Deku does go to do one thing. He does go to sweep both of his legs up into the air, to leap upwards to try and kick his uncle. Now, Ryan, he does directly go to dodge out of the way, once more backing up out of the way of his feet, before Deku does just go to grab down with his other hand at his uncle's arm. Now, the moment Deku does grab at his uncle's arm, he does go to twist his body and smash his feet down across his uncle's other arm. As Ryan, he does try and smash Deku into the ground. Now, Ryan does do that as Deku, he does go to let go of his uncle and then go actually spin his body and turn. Deku dislocating his, let's just say, left arm, as he does come around and punch him in the face, or in the side of the head. Now, as that does actually happen, Deku does do one thing. He does go to directly bring his arm out and go to pull it away from Ryan. As Deku, he does go to double punch him right in the side of the head and then go to actually swing his leg downwards towards his gut. As Deku does hit him right in the sternum with 2 kicks. Now, Deku, he does perform a move called the Mountain Breaker. As Ryan, he does actually feel his head get disoriented for a little second, and then he does feel the wind get knocked out of him. As Deku does leap backwards and go to actually bring up his arm to put it back in a socket. As he does just stare at his uncle. Now, Ryan, he does have a smile on his face, and so does Deku. As Ryan talks about how Deku has improved. Now, Ryan does go leaping towards Deku, and Deku, he does just start to think, as he does go rushing forwards about what to do. Now, the two are in an open field, and Deku, he knows that Ryan, if this were a real battle, nothing would really matter. Sure, the kure, they do use regular techniques, but Deku thinks as he does go to actually scoop down a handful of dirt that even the kure, they can use cheap tricks. Now, Deku is going to throw this hand of dirt out, as he does throw it, well, underhanded. Now, Ryan, he does see the dirt as he does actually go to try and bring up his hand to sweep it out of the air. The way he actually does, Deku is going to bring up his arm, or his right arm, and bend it upwards. Deku grabbing his his right wrist with his left hand, as Deku does go to directly smash upwards his right elbow into his uncle's jaw. Now, the moment Deku does do that, he does just do one thing. He does go to do a leg thrust, or a heel kick into the chest, and smash his uncle right over again. Now, Ryan, he is quite surprised. He underestimated Deku, and that was his mistake. As Deku does just stand there with the removal still on. And Ryan, he does just start to speak. You're on my level. Almost. It's fun. Maybe this is the best fight I've had in a minute. Still, I don't think you'll win. Really, why is that? Because I'm not serious yet. So, what do I win if you get serious? Now, Ryan, he doesn't start to think. He has a few ideas, but he's wondering if Father would allow it. Now, Ryan, he does directly go to turn towards Zenko, shouting at her to call their dad. Now, Ryan, he does go to turn off his removal, as he does go to stand up properly and wait for a second, as Deku does just stand there. Now, Inko should call their father. The man answering with a, "Hi honey, how are you doing?" or "Hi," and then asking exactly why is she calling today. Father, I know I just returned home, but... Dad! This be what Ryan, he does shout. Now, you do actually have Inko's father, who does ask Ryan exactly what does he want. I'm fighting with little Izuku. I'm curious. If he can beat me, what could he do? He could do whatever he wants. Now, Deku does turn, as he does shout towards the phone that if he does win, could he do or learn a style other than the kure? Now, this is where a moment of silence is on the phone, along with the expression on Inko's face. Are you serious? That's what he wants to do? Now, the phone, it does just start to shout, or Deku just start to hear his grandfather shout. If Deku truly does want to learn a form of fighting style other than the kure, he can damn well do whatever he please if he wins. However, the likelihood is nearly zero of that happening. So, it'd be best for Deku just to give up on that idea. Now, Deku to just look back at his uncle, and he is starting to think, okay, so he can win, or he can do whatever he pleases, okay. Now this is getting more interesting. That means that his father could teach him the Nico style, that style of fighting. It's one that he's always been curious about. Along with that, even though the Nico style is based off of other martial arts, he hasn't learned those. So, he's just wondering now, if he can expand on his knowledge of power, then it would be quite simple to win. Sure, all he has to do is win once right now. But even then, that is possible. Now, Deku, yeah. He does just look back at his uncle and go to rush forwards at high speed. As Deku, he does get ready. His uncle, watching it, is going to activate his removal. Now, Deku, the moment he does actually go to, well, jump off one foot towards his uncle, he does activate the removal in that leg. As Deku, while he's rushing forwards, he does turn the removal on in his fist and start to get his blood pumping. Now, Deku does come rocketing in and punching his uncle in the face, as Ryan does go sliding backwards before rushing back in. Now, Deku, he does bring his arms up to block, as Ryan, he does start sending out a fury of punches right at Deku. Now, Deku, he is just thinking, as he's trying to hold his ground against his uncle. As Deku just do one thing, as Ryan is going to cock back one of his fists and going to throw out a heavy blow, Deku is going to dodge to the right, grabbing his uncle's arm, as he does do one thing, going to actually pull him in close and kick him as hard as he can in the chest, before going to pull back on Ryan and go to actually aim upwards and jab him in the throat with another shoulder jab. Now, Ryan, he doesn't really let up, as he actually is going to do a downwards, or at least let's just say a sledgehammer attack to Deku, trying to knock him in the head. Now, Deku actually does try to dodge as he does get hit right in his left shoulder, as Deku does feel his arm dislocate, and just do one thing. He does directly go to spin his body around and kick him right in the head. Now, Ryan, he does go actually moving downwards to the right, as Deku does go, well, moving backwards to his left. And Deku, yeah, he does just rush forwards and is going to actually uppercut or kick his uncle right in the face with his knee. Now, Ngoshi is watching this, as the battle does last until both of the removals are burned through. Now, Deku, yeah, he's been fighting his uncle for probably about 2 hours straight. And at this point, it's getting harder and harder for the two to keep getting back up. Both of these two, their bodies are completely flooded with adrenaline at this point. And the fact is, this fight can go on until one of them kills another. And it's also very impressive. Orion's talking about how the last time he fought this intensely was with dear old dad and little Inko. Now, Deku, he's very curious about that. Ryan never really does talk about the past. However, right now, he is. Now, Deku, yeah, he is more and more curious, as he does go rushing forwards and get ready. Now, his uncle does come rushing as well. Deku, he thinks that he can still activate at least the removal for one more second. If he can use that amount of time to actually get something in, or at least another attack in, maybe he could win. Maybe. Just maybe. Now, Deku, he's trying to wait for an opening, as he does go cock back his fist and go to throw out a large, heavy punch. Now, the moment Deku did cock back his fist, he did actually go to throw it outwards with his removal, as his arm did power up, and Ryan, he does actually go to try and meet Deku's fist. Now, there's actually something that happens. Ryan, all of a sudden, he does turn his head, as Deku, his fist does slide off of his uncle's, well, tiny knuckle, or his pinky knuckle, and go colliding right into his uncle's neck. Now, Deku, yeah, he punches his uncle right at the top of his rib cage, or the top of his collarbone. As Deku does that, Ryan he just go falling backwards onto the ground. Now, Deku, he is just standing there with his hand outstretched, as he does feel like he just broke something in his hand. Now, Deku, he is just staring at his uncle, as he's going to get back into a stance. Now, Deku does watch Saki come running up, as she is staring at Ryan. Her going to bend onto one knee, asking Dad if he's okay. And she doesn't really get a response. As somebody else does come running up, and Deku does turn his head to see his aunt. Now, Deku's quite surprised, as she has Todoroki walk up to him and go to grab him by his shirt. Her going to lift him or at least try and pull him up off the ground, asking why the fuck was he not listening to her. I wasn't. I didn't hear you. Really? You little shit? You knocked him out. Now I won't have to... I what? Now, just gonna stop and think for a minute. He knocked him out. You just won? Now, Deku's quite alarmed. He beat his uncle? No, wait. The only reason why he won is because she got distracted. He saw the match. His uncle was going to try and attack him with his left hand. His attack barely landed. But landed. He got lucky. This isn't fair. Now, Deku, yeah. He did at least enjoy the fight. As Ryan, he would have woken up later and at least be a little bit pissed. As Deku, he can now do whatever he wants without the control of grandfather or his father. So, what exactly does that mean for Deku now, going forwards? Anyways, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed. Have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.